Yes guys, what's going on? Hashtag Short here. Welcome back to another video on the channel, and here today, ladies and gents, we have got ourselves the return of a little mini series that I've done quite a few times on the channel now, boys. And to be honest, with the amount of promo cards we've got coming out on FIFA, honestly, I'm thinking of just making this like almost like a monthly series, boys. Definitely every 2 months. I'm going to figure that out, but this is going to be the version of March up to this point. Obviously, we've had so many amazing promos come out here, fellas. Now, if you haven't seen these before, basically, essentially what we're going to be doing in these videos, boys, is looking at the top 5 most overpowered players in each position, starting with the defenders in this video, then obviously the midfielders, and then the attackers as well. We'll do 3 separate episodes for that, as we've always done in the past. If you guys do enjoy the video, drop a like and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content. We're on the push for 100,000 subs, so if you guys could please subscribe,
that would be very, very great, says Roy.
Right, cheers Roy, but anyway, we've got some more important stuff to go into here. The aim of this video is we're looking at the top 5 most overpowered players in each position. So we're going, you know, literally goalkeeper, right back, centre back, left back, CDM, CM, cam, left mid, right mid, striker, if that makes sense. And obviously right wingers and left wingers are in them same categories. You guys get what I'm saying. And boys, one thing really important about all these videos, just so you guys know, is we're not going to be putting any icons in, right? I might do something separately on icons in terms of the most overpowered icons, but the way with icons, I just found it, the most meta ones are so ridiculously high in price, and obviously they link to absolutely everyone, and it's just kind of a bit unrealistic with some of the icons, you know, like R9, etc. and stuff like that. So I thought stay clear of the icons is the way forward. I think that's that all explained, boys. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the video and start off with the goalkeepers. Right, fellas, now keepers, every single time I do this video, I always like to say that I like to go through the keepers quite quickly because there's not too much to touch on them, if we're being completely honest, boys. Starting off here, we've got Mendy, amazing keeper for Lynx. Now, honestly, fellas, one thing I'll explain quickly here as well, and I'm going to say this in all 3 episodes, so I might sound like a bit of a broken record. But yeah, the main part of this video is obviously we're looking at the most meta and overpowered. So as much as they're good in the game, they're also great links-wise as well. Obviously, Mendy fits into that category absolutely fantastically as a first example. But just so you guys know, for the future players coming up in this video, obviously, you know, price, value for money, etc. if we can get them, good value for money. But obviously, we've got the top players as well in all these videos because we are looking at the top 5 best meta and overpowered. But we try and include some price points in there as well. And like I said, how well they can fit into teams. So hopefully that's that all explained there. But there we go, boys. So Mendy's starting us off. I said I was going to be quick on the keepers. Now we will start flying through them. 6'6", obviously an amazing keeper. Maignan as well, another really good card. Winter Wildcards, like obviously being French, being from the Serie A. This is a guy I've used a lot in Weekend League. And he's tall enough for a keeper at 6'3". So that's absolutely great. Then we've got ourselves Van der Sar. Most pro players are using this prime at Van der Sar. And then another keeper, Donnarumma. Now, some people actually joke about Donnarumma having flappy hands, boys. Honestly, the stats are so good on him almost that it like breaks him in game, people say. And then, of course, CASPRO Schmeichel. It's not CASPRO, it just is Peter Schmeichel. You just are an absolute wongle-pongle. And then a special shout out to David De Gea for you boys who did do the SBC. One thing I like to do in this video, boys, is basically, I don't like to put SBC cards in these videos just because, obviously, if you guys haven't done them, then, do you know what I mean? You can't get them. So obviously I want to always do tradable players that you guys can go and get. Let's move on to the left backs, fellas. And onto the left backs, boys, we've got ourselves starting off here, Delane. Now what an amazing card this is, boys. Not too expensive, right? And obviously I've got him first owner here, which is absolutely great, but he's really not too expensive. And we've got ourselves a 5-star weak foot, a great left back in the French league as well, so he's very, very good for Lynx, boys, and I'm currently using him right now. I mean, Hernandez is my preferred choice. Obviously, we've got a brand new left back coming up in this video who's absolutely amazing, but Delane, really, really great card I'd advise you guys using. Spinazzola, he was actually in the last episode when we did this, I believe. Spinazzola, an amazing, amazing card. 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot. Very expensive for a left back, but look at these in-game stats, boys. You've got a very well-rounded, consistent card, along with 5-star skill moves at the back. It's just absolutely great. Now, a lot of the time, I like to say with left backs and right backs, boys, play them at centre midfield. Even if you bring these kind of guys on as subs, you know, if Spinazzola is your super sub, you don't even play him at left back, you know, whatever. Like, that makes so much more sense than buying a centre midfielder who's stupidly inflated in price just because they're a centre midfielder by base card. When they come off the bench, boys, as I'm sure you know, they come on with all the same chemistry. So, Spinazzola is another absolutely great one. Theo Hernandez, like I just mentioned, is a guy I've been using in my pro team for a long, long time. A really, really great card. The defending could be a little bit higher, but he's just got such a consistent card. 6 foot, and he's obviously got 96 pace. This is another great, great player, boys. And then the man, the new man, Nuno Mendes. fellas, let me tell you this right now. This is going to be the weekend league demon player. I'll tell you that right now. This guy is going to be in every single team. Look at some of these in-game stats, boys. 95 pace, like, and then just like 94 agility, 90 interceptions, 95 stamina. The standing tackle, like 91. Like, that's just ridiculous. And he's got 5-star skills. Preferred foot, left-footed as well, which obviously we want on the left side, boys. He is just absolutely unbelievable, Nuno Mendes, and we're going to see him in many a pro team. I'll tell you that right now. And then finally, finish us off at left back, boys. We've got ourselves Joao Cancelo. Joao, I don't know why I'm pretending to speak in an accent. It just doesn't really work with me, fellas, does it? Let's be honest. But Cancelo is another prime example, boys, of who I'd say, you know, start him at left back in game. But if you can move him to centre midfield, I mean, just look at this card. This is the best centre midfielder in the game by an absolute mile. 99 stamina, the defending, the dribbling, the passing, even the shooting along with the pace. It's just an absolute disgrace of a player. And Cancelo's under 1 million coins as well, I'm pretty sure, which obviously is not the greatest. But yeah, obviously that's the left backs I've got here, guys. Special shout out as well to Tierney, who didn't make the top 5 for me, but he's the next best one in my opinion, like for a Premier League one as well. He's absolutely spectacular, boys, if you want to use him. But yeah, out of these left backs, you know, we've got obviously a couple of expensive ones, boys. I always like to try and get a cheap one in there as well. And this Delane is very good. And, you know, Theo's not too expensive, etc. So that's the left back, fellas. Let's jump now into the centre backs, where we're going to be looking at 10 instead of 5, obviously, because it technically fills out 2 positions on the pitch, if that makes sense. Right, chaps, and into the centre backs we go here. Now, we've obviously got quite a few, so I'm going to start absolutely flying through these. Special shout out Ibanez, by the way, the cheap Maldini. I made a video about this guy. He's absolutely unbelievable, boys, and he's literally like 50,000 coins or something. One of the best value for money you will get in a centre-back. Now, one thing you'll see very similar with all these centre-backs, chaps, is the fact that we've got basically plus 80 pace on every single one. I think there will be plus 80 on every single one. And then obviously high defending, high physical, and obviously you just get some amazing cards. And Dicker, what an amazing card, boys. 6'4", medium-high work rates. I can't explain to you how good this card is, how good he plays in game. I used him as soon as the Future Stars came out. What an amazing promo, by the way. Niakite, very similar card as well. Slightly slower than Indica, but again, just a really similar card with high defensive work rate, 6'3". And one thing you'll notice with a lot of these centre-backs, boys, they're almost like, a lot of them are like pairings. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them are centre-back pairings. Jalo, not too crazy expensive, and medium-high work rate, 6'3", is just absolutely great on him. Again, Collins, an amazing card, boys. Now, this is going to be one of the cheaper guys that I advise you guys to go for. Obviously, if you don't have, you know, loads of coins lying around to be able to build these god teams, these sort of cheaper cards like Collins, Ibanez, who we showed right at the start there, are going to be some absolutely amazing players for you boys to use. Medium work rates as well, but it's not the end of the world. He's born in 2004. Yeah, we've got a real issue, fellas, I'll be honest. A real big problem. Rudiger as well, next up, fellas. First owner, I actually packed this one myself. Right, that is what first owner means, Alex, brilliant. For me, boys, the best centre-back in the game, excluding Team of the Year actual cards, right? Excluding Marquinhos and excluding Diaz. I really believe Rudiger to be the best centre-back in the game, boys. He's just an absolute joke. We've got LaCroix, Crocodile, I call him myself, basically. 6'3", medium-high work rates. All these defenders are the same, boys. You know what I mean? In a way that, like, they've got very high pace. And what I always touch on with the centre-backs when I make these videos is, like, just make sure you have some combination of these two centre-backs, of 2 of these 10 centre-backs in your team, right? Now, fellas, I know I did say no SBC cards, but I had to put Varane in just because obviously we've got 10 centre-backs going in here. And this guy has just been used and talked about too much this year for me to not quickly throw in. But this is the only SBC card you're going to see in any of it. Medium-high work rates, Varane, an unbelievable card. And then obviously to finish us off, boys, we've got the 2 Team of the Year cards, Ruben Diaz and Marquinhos. I mean, these are just these 2 centre-backs. Like, there's just no words, boys. There's absolutely no words. They're an absolute joke. I mean, you look at the stats of Marquinhos. If you can get any of these into your team, boys, I'm just telling you, they're absolute brick walls. I used this Ruben Diaz for my E-Premier League qualification a couple of weeks back, and I've never used a centre-back like it. Like, he's just an absolute wall. And just not much more I can say about that, fellas. But yeah, looking at all the centre-backs together here, chaps, like, the cheaper ones we've got, like, Ndika, Niakite, Ibanez, and Collins. They're the guys you're sort of looking to try and get into your teams, boys, the best you can. And obviously, you know, a lot of them are Bundesliga here. You can link together. Obviously, these 2 get a great French link together. But basically, any combination of these centre-backs, and you boys should be absolutely tip-top going into your games. And finally, chaps, to finish us off, we have got the defenders. Right, that's just... I'm such a wongle. And finally, chaps, to finish us off, we have got the right-backs here, starting us off with the man Pedro Porro. Now, just an extremely cheap card, boys. Obviously, he's 89 rated, so that gets his price up a little bit. but an extremely cheap card. Now, I know his league's not great, and that's the only issue. But honestly, right backs wise, we're not doing the greatest this year for players, boys. We're struggling a little bit, I'll be completely honest with you. Obviously, most people just use like Hakimi at right back, boys. Or the man that we've got coming up next, Kyle Walker, like he's starting to come into a lot of Prem teams. You've obviously got that Reece James, who didn't make the cut in this one. That headliner's Reece James is a very good card. Kyle Walker, obviously an amazing card again, boys, this year. And in previous years, like last year, everyone was using Kyle Walker at centre-back, and you just think, you absolute rat. But high work rates on him. You actually can use him at centre-back this year. I actually did it the other week, boys. Please don't call me a rat. And he was absolutely amazing, I'll be completely honest with you. It's just the pace on these right backs we're looking for the most. Quadrado, obviously it's a road to the final card, so he's a little bit more expensive, chaps, but an amazing card. 5-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. This is another one of them cards, boys, that I'd say definitely try and bring on at centre midfield, or even, you know, Quadrado can basically go anywhere, I'll be honest. He's a Hullet gang player, and that's what we absolutely love to see, boys. Now, Di Lorenzo, boys, a brand new card that's just come out, and what an absolutely sensational player. I'll tell you what, this man might take us to the moon, boys. Medium work rates, 5-star skill moves, like 92 pace, and then just a really consistent card along the board, like 85 dribbling, 85 defending, 89 physical. You absolutely love to see this on one of the new FUT Birthday cards, boys. It's great to see all these FUT Birthday cards coming out with the 5-star skill moves. It's just such a great promo. It adds such a great little twist to the game, giving all these random cards 5-star skills and getting it on defenders. It's actually quite underrated. You can actually do a good bit of work with some skills in defense to get you out of tight situations, you know, like outside Elastico or something in a close-knit situation. Finally, finishing us off in the defenders episode, fellas, we have got the best defender in the game, in my opinion, in Hakimi. Well, the best right back in the game for absolute sure, fellas. 5'11", and then just look at these in-game stats. They're just an absolute joke, boys. 99 pace, the defending, the physical, the dribbling. And yeah, Hakimi, just an absolutely amazing card for links as well. And that's the thing, boys. That's what I mentioned in all these positions. All these cards are so good links-wise. I mean, you know, the one we got struggling here is Pedro Porro, but all them centre-backs even, there's barely a guy who struggles for links. Same with the left-backs. And that's why you guys see, you know, like, a right back or a left back that's got amazing stats from a random league is just so cheap. It's just because they're just so hard to link. But that's it for the right backs, boys, and that will finish off the defenders video. Hopefully you guys found that helpful, looking into the top 5 most overpowered players in each position in defense. And yeah, let me know if you guys found this helpful. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and also subscribe to the channel, and we'll have the midfielders episode coming out and then the attackers episode also coming out, fellas, so you don't want to miss that, chaps. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that, guys. But thank you very much for watching, and until the next one, have a fantastic day.